I'll try this again. Hello, good morning in my time. I don't know what time you're looking at this video. My name is Sheikh Fiqri 185 185 292X class FA, and I'm doing my fintech ICA1, which is to make a video. The video does says to be creative, so okay, creative it is. I'll try my best to be. You see, so MAS has decided to grant digital bank licenses to ensure that the Singapore's banking industry remains resilient, competitive, and vibrant, as per their publication. Digital full banks will be allowed to take deposits from and provide a wide range of financial services, alright, from retail and non-retail customer segments. Digital wholesale banks will be permitted to serve SMEs and other non-retail segments. My understanding of what makes a digital bank a digital one is in the name itself. It's a bank that's digital, right? You see, these digital banks, I understand, will offer the same type of financial services as a traditional bank, but without having any physical infrastructure, any physicality to it. It makes sense because once the physicality is removed, a lot of overhead costs are also removed. And as you said, if any cost can be removed, it shall. Right? See, everything will be done by the consumer. It's an online bank, right? Everything will be done by the consumer through applications on the software, through phones and laptops. It seems to make sense as without the physical banks, it improves efficiency. There'll be no more human contact. Although that's sad, and I don't know why. Efficiency at its finest. The difference may mostly be physical once these banks have passed the restricted stage. Restricted stage set by MAS is being that they can only gather a deposit about $75,000 per person, and if I'm not wrong, 50 million in totality. But these banks can also, until the point that they have a total minimum paid up capital of $1.5 billion within 3 to 5 years. Physical wise, they are only allowed to have one place of business, which I would assume to be the office, and unlike traditional banks, they have a multiple network of branches. Digital banks are also not allowed to access ATM machines or cash deposit machines. However, they are allowed to offer cashback services through retailers' electronic point of sale of systems, so their POS system. So, outlining the problems that I believe the MAS is trying to solve by issuing these 5 digital bank licenses. For one thing, I never actually introduced my little friend. This is Leia. This is my kitty cat, and he's my best friend. Okay, back to the point at hand. You see, I think that as of currently, Singapore has proven to be a fast-paced, adapting, and fast-paced action country, right? Too fast, way too furious. And with the adaptation of non-physicality of it, and everything can be done by yourself on the way to work, anything, efficiency and productivity is improved because time is saved. So traditional banks can only meet so much in terms of convenience because people will still have to go to that bank. Millennials prefer to be able to bank directly from their smartphones for all services eventually. Additionally, digital banks will also benefit the market by helping the underserved market, which is foreign workers, small medium enterprises, MSMEs, and the evolving technologically reliant population. My own words. Furthermore, with reduced costs of not having physical branches, as I said before, the banks could offer better interest rates. Well, because they don't have to profit. Well, they have to make much revenue to profit because there's lower costs, right? Adding to a more cheaper and more personalized service. Best of all, with lower interest rates, there will be a higher chance of loans in which may develop new businesses and expansions for infrastructure in Singapore and other businesses, right? Lastly, it isn't just problem solving. You see, it's to increase the competitiveness of the financial institutions of Singapore. According to an MAS spokesperson, he said that, new digital banks could potentially offer deposit accounts without imposing any minimum deposit amount or fall below fees as seen in the United Kingdom and Hong Kong. Digital banks with access to more wide range of data sources could adopt different credit risk assessments, approaches to lend underserved segments of the economy, such as young and micro enterprises. See, with an increased competition from digital bank, it is likely to spur existing banks to improve further on their own digital offerings to step up their game. Okay, so MAS specified that organization that applies for the digital bank license must demonstrate a sustainable digital banking business model. But for one thing, what does sustainable mean? Well, in modern terms, sustainability, in my own words, is the ability to stay maintained at a certain rate or level. Having a sustainable banking business model means for the bank to internally work a certain way that incorporates and maintains and extends its livelihood, in which the case is the ability to profit, to have profitability and not going to deficit, right? Profitability is a key factor when it comes to sustainability. The International Institute of Sustainable Development, IISD's published research has concluded that the integration of sustainability has taken into two key directions. Number one, the pursuit of environmental and social responsibility in a bank's operation through environmental initiatives, such as recycling or improvements in energy efficiency, and social responsibility initiatives, support for cultural events, improved human resource practices, and charitable donations. See, another point is the integration of sustainability into a bank's core business through integration of environmental and social considerations into product design, right, and mission policy and strategies. I believe there is a third though. The third is the implementation of technological systems to improve efficiency, reduce cost and risk. Risk being human. If I'm not wrong, there was a James Bond villain that had a cat, right? Yeah, I can think of me as that way because, you know, I'm awesome. Okay, so why do you think such a company would be uniquely suited? Well, the companies that have shown interest would be Razer, Grab, and Singtel. Singtel with its combined endeavor with OCBC. I believe that Grab, my personal experience, is deemed appropriate, as Grab already has the necessary qualifications and expertise to pursue such an endeavor. You see, because they already have Grab Food, Grab Pay, which is financials wise, and are already providing loans to SMEs. They already have the manpower, the resources to expand at such a rate, because I think Grab is going to be a powerful app. See, these companies are already well known, like Grab and Razer. They are already well known and trusted by the major public. It is unique and highly suitable that they take up the position of a digital bank. A bank is in the business of trust. People need to trust their bank to do business with the bank. If a new startup was given the digital licenses, as well as the necessary capital to start a digital bank without its name being known, the population wouldn't just as easily trust their funds with that company. And also, next part is the implications of sustainability in the banking business model. Well, what happens if a bank does not have a sustainable digital banking business model? Well, if a bank does not possess a sustainable digital business model, there's a high risk of such bank going into deficit or collapsing. This would drastically damage the public, and that's not what the government wants, right? MAS wants to ensure that the digital banks will serve the public in a sustainable and capable of handling funds for the greater good of the nation, to eventually ensure that the Singapore's banking industry remains competitive, updated, resilient, and sustainable. Well, having a digital bank there's pros and cons to it, right? Well, for the clients, I would say there would be higher interest rate offers, there will be lower fees, right? Cashback and other rewards, as well as the emphasis on mobile and online banking. So I may say that is for the client. Disadvantages, however, the cons, however, is that there's no face-to-face interaction. There's no human element to it, right? You can judge a lot about a person by what you see, right? There's limited capabilities as well as to retail banking. There's difficulty in conducting cash transaction, although we are trying to move towards a cashless society. And also there's no physical locations. This is for the client. I think it works two ways for the bank, right? Well, for the bank, it would say that the pros with having would be reduced overhead costs, easier information management, reduction of human error, and that's a big part, and a decreased corruption potential, the potential decrease in corruption. Well, For the bank, I say, since the human element is removed, expertise of like judging a human by meeting them will be obsolete, right? You can tell a lot about a person once you meet them and once you talk to them, and how come their conductions were and the way they use their words. If they stutter, you can tell that they lie, right? This cannot work. You see. Hello, I got another one here. His name is Lilo. Yeah, he's a he, that one's a she. I have two kitty cats. That one's tired. I'm like a Bond villain, I know. Plus, yeah, Bond villain. Okay, so in March 2019, the Hong Kong the Hong Kong HKMA granted no more than 8 virtual banking licenses to fintech giants, right? Which asks us to discuss how MAS issuance of the digital banking license might influence the near and the long-term run futures of financial services industry in Singapore in relation to its competitor Hong Kong. Well, after much research and study has shown that the prospects that even though Singapore has announced its open on applications for a digital bank almost a year after Hong Kong, the two are different in much ways. Singapore has taken the baby step approach, ensuring restrictions and requirements in place for the right companies to receive the license. The difference between HKMA and MAS is the concept of providing digital license are as follows. Okay, number one, this is personal, right? Dual regimes, like they have double regimes, right? So MAS announced licensing mechanism for full digital banks and wholesale banks. Hong Kong's monetary authority, I'm just gonna say HKMA. Okay, you can go. You've made my point. HKMA announcement did not separate and did not provide separating concepts. In light touch, HKMA's guidelines are prescriptive, focusing on technological risks and outsourcing and general risk management. Singapore has started baby steps, so they're setting up the playing field. HKMA's licensing process revolved around the identity of the applicants. Rumors swirled that global tech giants were ready to pounce on the opportunity. MAS has also made it clear that it will not allow any disruptive takeover over the sector, such as when applications, so that they can set up the playing field first to control. And lastly, MAS will not allow any bank, digital or not, to engage in value destructive competition to gain market share in its statement. Well, for one things first, what is value destructive? Well, I guess in the dictionary, value destructive competition means, in simple terms, value is destroyed when an established method of production or service that had value is replaced and loses value. Perfect example is when Grab and Uber came over, these app hailing services that came over, and they destroyed the taxi services. Like it really destroyed the taxi services because nobody was hailing for a cab anymore. Everybody was booking online. So this caused disruptions to people's lives. The taxi drivers for once, the companies. The taxi drivers have been driving cabs for years. These are not tech savvy people. So MAS doesn't want that with the digitalization of banks. So it will ensure and control to ensure that the digital banks are not destroying any other industry, financial services especially. This will also, I guess, help not make the same mistake as per the Grab hailing services.